Thank you for joining us at our November Inland Coalition on Aging meeting. I'm really happy to see people coming in. I wasn't sure if we were going to have a good turnout today because of the holiday, so I'm really glad to see a good group here. If you'd like, please enter in the chat your name and the organization you're here representing. My name is Carmen Estrada. I'm the Executive Director of Inland Caregiver Resource Center, and I'm also the Treasurer of the Inland Coalition on Aging. I'm stepping in for Ben today, who is not available today. And so I hope we have a successful meeting. We have a great presentation today to share with you. First, we're going to turn it over to Elizabeth, who is our consultant for the implementation of the Coalition on Aging. She's going to share some updates on the action teams. And then we have a great presentation for you on how we can care for ourselves during the holidays. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Elizabeth.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Elizabeth Bogomil, and I am helping to lead the Inland Empire Master Plan for Aging action teams. And we're focusing on implementing the Master Plan for Aging action items. And so moving the plan forward from an idea into action. And we're focusing a lot on collaboration with projects that are already occurring within the community and bolstering them. We've got a couple action teams that are going. We have the Housing Action Team, Transportation, Caregiving, Alzheimer's and Dementia Action Team, the Behavioral Health and Social Support Action Team, Safety, Respect, and Equity Action Team. And this month in November, we just started our Advocacy Action Team, and we already have some pretty interesting and engaging activities that are happening with that team that we're looking forward to building on. And so I wanted to invite you all to participate in these action teams. I will drop my email address, info@inlandaging.org into the email. And if you're interested in participating and you haven't already, please come to one of these and get a feel for what we're doing. We're still at the beginning stages, so you'll have an opportunity to shape what these action teams look like and the work that we're doing. And I also wanted to point out a couple of resources that might be coming your way. We are looking into some advocacy work that's going to be happening. The Housing Action Team is writing a advocacy letter to promote co-housing and to make sure housing voucher funding isn't taken away, and several other things. Hi, Ayoko. She's coordinating it. We're writing this letter and we're going to draft it and then send it out to the ICA members. And you're welcome to put your logo on it in support. And then Ayoko is going to present it at a statewide housing advocacy meeting for those who are aging. And so stay tuned for all of this as it comes to your inbox. And yes, I'll drop my email in the chat, and please reach out if you're interested in participating in any of the action teams, or if you're not sure where you fit best, please reach out and we can figure that out together. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Elizabeth, for those updates. We also wanted to share that the Inland Coalition on Aging has received a Community Impact Fund grant from the Inland Empire Community Foundation. We've been granted funds to be able to continue implementing the Master Plan for Aging. So we're really excited about that the funds are going to help us continue to have Elizabeth as our consultant and also help us fund some of the projects that we're thinking about implementing in each of the action groups. So really excited to share that news with everyone. the Coalition on Aging is continuing to look for funding and grants so that, again, we can continue to implement this project because we do not want the plan to sit on a shelf, right? And so excited about that and very thankful to the Community Foundation for those funds. Other updates, we want to continue to encourage you to do outreach for the ICA if you know individuals that could benefit from participating. Again, our coalition focuses on enhancing services for older adults, adults with disabilities, and caregivers. So anyone who has that shared mission, individually or representing an organization, are welcome to participate in the Inland Coalition on Aging. The way that we're going to be able to enhance those services for our populations is if we work together, right? And so that's one of the reasons we continue to have these monthly meetings so we can learn something that could help us enhance our skills as professionals, and then also so we can collaborate. So encourage individuals to go to our website or send us an email if they have any questions at info@inlandaging.org. All right. And again, on the website, we do have marketing tools that you are free to use to share information about the coalition. Also on the website, you're going to find a copy of the Inland Empire Master Plan for Aging that you're welcome to download and use for your own organization to give you guidance as you provide services to older adults, adults with disabilities, and caregivers. And again, please continue to spread the word. So next we have our presenter. November is National Family Caregiver Month, and it's also Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Inland Caregiver Resource Center, we provide services to caregivers and older adults. And in the month of November, we always like to have events that recognize the work of our caregivers and also to provide resources and support to our seniors. This month, we've been focusing on providing presentations on caregiving during the holidays. And so I thought it would be good for us to hear this presentation as professionals so that we can help support our caregiver clients, but then also as individuals, because a lot of us are in caregiving situations or know a caregiver or know of someone who needs care. And so I thought it would be great for us to, spend some time focusing and getting ready for the holidays. Our first holiday starts in a couple of days. And so please join me in welcoming Tanya Brown, who's a family consultant at Inland Caregiver Resource Center. She's going to be presenting caregiving during the holidays. Thank you.
Okay. Good mid-morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. The topic for this morning is caring for yourselves during the holiday season. Brought to you by the Inland Caregiver Resource Center, helping families and the community cope with and manage the challenges of caregiving. So we're going to have an interactive presentation. I'm glad we have at least 21 people here because that makes for more interaction, right? I encourage you to turn on your cameras so that I can see your wonderful faces if you feel comfortable, okay? Sharing is encouraged. And please put your emoji hand up when you would like to share. And I am going to rely on you, Janly, to call on people and read what's in the chat if anyone wants to share in the chat. And of course, PowerPoints will be emailed to all participants. So let's have an interactive fireside chat. My name is Tanya Brown. I'm a family consultant with Inland Caregiver Resource Center. I've been with the agency now going on 13 years, and I have to say it's the best job that I've ever worked at. So, stirred up emotions and feelings during the holidays. As I'm sure you're all aware, the holiday season can stir up emotions and feelings that may have been left alone for several months or even years. What can cause these stirred up feelings? Feelings of grief and loss, if you've lost a loved one during the year. Memories of that loved one, or memories of things that you've experienced during the year. Cooking, buying gifts. Stress can stir up these feelings. Expectations, Are your expectations too high? Finances. You may not be in as good of financial standing as you were last year. And then family. Family dynamics may have changed. What are some others that you guys can think of? Anyone can think of any emotions or stirred up feelings that may arise during this holiday season? Okay.
Have anxiety in the chat.
Anxiety, yes, definitely.
Sonia raised her hand too, Sonia Vega. You want to unmute yourself, Sonia? I'm sorry, you're muted. Sorry.
Sonia?
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. As I said, wanting to hug family members, but they're no longer there, and so it makes it hard to enjoy certain holidays, and that makes it very hard.
Right. And a lot of times this is the time of the season that you really do think about loved ones, no matter how long it's been since they've been gone, right?
Joyce has her hand up.
Okay, Joyce?
Sometimes for me, because I lost my only son 2 years ago, and sometimes like Facebook and, TV, when you see the commercials and things on Facebook, that can be kind of triggering, stirring up feelings as well.
Definitely.
I
Anyone
have
else?
in the chat, recent loss of a loved one, frustration, looking forward to get-togethers, and that is all for the chat right now.
Okay. All righty. Thank you. So we'll move on. Changes. A lot of changes can occur during the year prior to the holiday. A lot of changes. Like changes in relationships. Maybe you no longer have your significant other during this holiday season. Maybe your best friend and you fell out for some reason. Functional abilities, you could have lost functional abilities. Like for instance, I have been having leg problems. Actually knee problems. I know I probably need a knee replacement. So that when I cook this year, I'm going to have to take into consideration that I'm probably going to need to use my walker with the seat and take it into the kitchen to have it available for me to sit in between making my meals, right? So that's going to be some changes that I have to accommodate. And then resources. You may not have resources available this holiday season that you had available last holiday season. And family. Again, we talked about family that may not be here any longer. And then you may have lost family because the kids have grown up and gone away to college, or they've moved out and gotten to their own apartments or their own living spaces. And then your social networks may have changed. You may not have the same friends that you used to have. They may have moved away or something. So let's talk about grief and loss. During the holidays, people often reflect on their losses. Who is no longer with us? I recently in July lost my mother. So I have to think this will be the first Thanksgiving and Christmas that will have been without her. I think about the dishes that she would have made. She was the hub of the family. So we're really going to miss her. And it comes to mind that the last Christmas that we spent together, I had some graham crackers out. I was eating graham crackers and she saw me eating them and she asked me for some. So I gave her some of the graham crackers. Well, when she left, she asked to take some home. So I'm thinking that this year, in remembrance of my mom, I'm going to put a package of graham crackers out just to sit it there, just to keep her memory in my mind at the time. And what our feelings are about our losses, we've got to acknowledge those feelings. How do we feel about the loss and the fact that the person is no longer here with us? How would the person whom we lost celebrate the holidays if they were still here? And I know my mother was a social butterfly. She would have been really enjoying the holidays. Anyone want to share about their thoughts on this slide? And I see you, Sonia, shaking your head, and you too, Joyce.
Yes, my mom too was a social butterfly, and she taught me how to cook. the turkey, and then she was with me, and we enjoyed making tamales, and it was they were delicious, and then that was 3 years ago when passed, and it's hard. It's for my little sister Anna, and it's that she has Down syndrome. So now my older sister and I take care of her. And I said, no, no, Anna's with me this holiday, so I'll be picking her up Wednesday night, so she can spend time with us, so. And it's hard for Anna because she has the Down syndrome, and it's like it's not the same for her, because she was so close to mom, so very, very hard.
Thank you, Sonia.
Mm-hmm.
And Joyce, did you have something to share?
No, it's just that I know, you it's just never going to be the same, but you get, you get through it. A few years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I taught a class on death and dying, and it's so different when you're looking at it from a different lens. You know what I'm saying? But we still feel that emptiness
Right.
around the holidays. It's just maybe it's because it's fresh. I don't know.
Yeah. And not necessarily, because the holidays bring those memories to the forefront.
Yeah.
They really do. They kind of trigger those memories.
This is
what would mom have been doing? What would she have cooked?
Right.
Okay.
We
There's
have a
so
few
many
comments
kinds of
in the
grief
chat.
and loss. The loss of a loved one to death. The loss of the person you knew before. Maybe your loved one, your brother, your father has declined in their abilities. Maybe they have dementia now, so they're no longer the person that they used to be. So that's a loss. And then the loss of a relationship. I mentioned before, maybe you're no longer with your significant other. Maybe you and your best friend are separated for some reason. Maybe you broke up, or maybe they moved away. But that's a loss. The loss of a job. Now that can be a loss, and you can grieve that type of loss as well. I know I got injured on a job that I worked at for 14 years, and that was my family. That was my life. And for many, many years, I would dream about the fact that I was back at the job, and I would wake up and feel sad that it was just a dream. And that was a grieving period. And really, the only way I really did get over that and stop the dreaming was when I started working at ICRC. So the loss of a job can be a loss as well. And then the loss of health. For a while there with my knee, I was experiencing a lot of pain. I couldn't walk, and I just wasn't feeling good. And that is a big loss. It changed everything. There were a lot of things I couldn't do for myself for a while. So again, another loss. There's so many types of losses. And then the loss of independence, where you're not able to do things for yourself. In grieving the loss in ways things were and possibly will never be again. My mother will never be here again. So you have to find ways to grieve. The way we will experience the holidays can be a grieving process as well, and a loss. Again, my holiday won't be the same because it won't have the same people in it. And then finances, the loss of finances. I'm telling you, what I say is everything is going up except our paychecks, right? The loss of our health and the loss of relationships, again. Any others that you can share? Anyone?
Hi, this is Bianca with Maxim Healthcare.
Hi, Bianca.
Hi, so I wanted to share with working in home health, we do sometimes, see those patients who, because of a traumatic brain injury, their life changes. Like we just had a patient, 16 years old, where he got hurt in a car accident. And now during the holidays, mom is grieving what once was, because he, is totally dependent on family, on the nurses. And, so everything just changed from one day to another. Now she is scared of, losing her job because of, having to be home if he needs to go to the hospital. So just not, I think life just changing in a way that you never expected.
Definitely. And you definitely want to refer those people to ICRC. I have a wonderful TBI stroke caregiver support group. So,
Thank you
and
for that, Tanya.
yes, and the reason why I really advocated, and Carmen will tell you, I advocated to get the TBI stroke caregiver support group because caregiving for someone that's experienced a stroke or a traumatic brain injury is really different because, as you said, Bianca, one day they're normal and the next day they're not. And that creates a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of sadness on the parents' part. So it's like a unique, different set of circumstances. So definitely at the end, I'll be presenting our information, our contact information for ICRC as well.
I'll look out for that. Thank you.
Okay, you're more than welcome.
Tanya, can I give a kudos to Inland Caregiver Resource Connection? Because at ADRC 211, we're always referring calls to your organization.
Good.
So the front desk, Giselle, and yesterday I spoke to Jesus. They're amazing. They're
Yes.
amazing with my clients. And I have a client that's getting ready to go into surgery on the 29th. I know this is all off topic, but your organization deserves a big, big star. She needs a ramp. She's disabled. She has MS and all of that. She needs a ramp. And Jesus was like, he was very kind with her, and he said he was going to try to expedite it so that she can have a ramp. And me being an advocator, I just thought that was very warm and touching the way he was with her because she had gotten the runaround from every other organization she called. And then she reached out to you guys, and you guys are very helpful. So thank you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. And I have to give that credit to Carmen and our administrative staff. They have a unique sense of being able to hire just the right people for the job because our workers are so compassionate. They love what they do, and it shows. So thank you. Okay. So please keep in mind that grief and loss are a normal process of life. You also have to keep in mind about the COVID-19 considerations. Always check your latest COVID guidelines from the California Public Health Department. So one thing with the modern technology of today, you have options. So in-person or virtual gatherings. We have Zoom meetings now where we don't have to actually go out. We have Google Meets and WebEx and FaceTime. And believe it or not, last year, my whole family met for Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving dinner together on Facebook portal. So there's really, things that you can do with the virtual gatherings as well. And to consider the small get-togethers rather than one large gathering if that meets, it's best for you. Gatherings are safer when held outside too. Consider having your events outside if you're going to be hosting. Or sometimes you'll have a selection or an option and choose to go to the smaller outside events. Consider patio heaters depending on the weather. And then they have the tents too. My sister just bought a really nice, beautiful, huge tent that can fit probably about 25 people in it. So they have things now that we can use. And then physical distancing and mask. If that's your choice, then go with that. Choose a place where they ask for mask and for you to physically distance yourselves. It's all with what you feel comfortable doing and participating in. So I'd like to know, what type of gatherings do you plan to attend or host? Anybody? Any
This is
plans?
this is Dakota. I'll share.
Dakota?
I live at a over 55 mobile home park, and we're having to get together.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: I have a hearing disability. I'm so glad you mentioned about outside because it's going to be inside this noisy room, but it's right by the pool. So I think I'm going to suggest that my part of the group that we move outside. It's just a great idea. So thank you for that.
Yeah, definitely. So you have choices, right? With some acceptance and planning, this time of year can be a source of pleasure, and that's what you want. And you always want to consider those 3 P's: prepare, prioritize, and prevent. So let's talk about prepare. Prepare your family and friends for what to expect if they're coming over to your home. Sometimes, some people may have a loved one with dementia, so they may want to prepare their family members with the prognosis or with the condition of the care receiver. So mom now you can even write a letter, or send an invitation saying mom has declined a little since you last seen her. Please do not delude her with questions. Prepare, have a place for her to go in a back room just in case she needs to get away from things. So prepare your family and friends. Prepare yourself. And prepare the care receiver if possible. Prepare the environment. Like I said, if you're going to go out or if you're even going to stay in, you want to have a place earmarked for you to take your loved one to have some time away from all the hubbub. Prepare your meals for the gatherings. And give yourself permission to change. You don't always have to look at things the way they used to be or do things the way you used to do them. You can always implement some new changes. Which of these do you feel are the most important to you and why? Anyone? April.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for sharing and all the information you provided. I actually have an elderly loved one that I care for whose dementia has reached a higher stage, if you want to call it that. And the confusion and being kind of lost in the home, not knowing where he is at times, like, wait, who is that versus, moments where he does know. We thought it would be easier to have everyone come over. But I love that you reminded us the sneak away times, because in the past, when folks sneak away, you wonder, where'd that person go? But kind of combining that with one of your previous statements, this idea of preparing the family to receive my uncle with a different condition, knowing that his memory may come or go, not I want them to not be taken back by it. I don't want them to be surprised or alarmed. So when he disappears, I want to prepare and be set up for him to disappear, and even encourage him, if he's feeling overwhelmed, to disappear, to go sneak off to his room. While in the past, previous versions of family gatherings, everyone's expected to stay together. I think I love what you're saying, because being prepared for the things that you're least prepared for is going to make all the difference. So having the family come ready to receive him in his current state, and being prepared to have him sneak off as often as he wants or for as long as he wants. So I just appreciate what you shared. And I would say I'm taking notes. So if others have ideas, I'm going to receive those too. Thank you.
Because you want your loved one to have a good time themselves so that they will want to continue going to outings with their family members as well. So, yeah. Anyone else?
The chat to create new traditions.
Oh, yeah, that's always nice. Now let's talk about prioritize. Identify what is most important. Be an effective time manager, because if you're not an effective time manager, you're going to get overwhelmed. And that's the last thing that you want during the holiday season. Don't major on the minor. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? And choose where you will spend your time. If you don't want to go to Aunt Jeannie's big, huge family gathering, just let her know this year I really feel like I'd like something small and intimate. So I'm going to stay at home and just cook dinner for my husband and the kids. And you have the right to do that. Okay. And prevent. Clarify your expectations. If you have people coming over, let them know what you expect of them. I say avoid the overuse of alcohol because sometimes people want to have a little drink or two. So just avoid abusing alcohol while you're, celebrating. And again, avoid overeating too. You want to feel good after you eat that meal, not bad. Keep gatherings small if that's the way you like them. And that's the way you feel more comfortable with small gatherings. And keep gift giving activities simple. Don't have any big, huge gift giving event because that gets overwhelming and, that's not good for anyone involved because, you just want to enjoy yourself and relax during the holidays. And keep an eye on your hope level. Don't hope for too much to be let down. So which of these do you feel are the most important to you and why? Definitely the avoiding too much alcohol, right? What else? Anything else that you see on that list that you feel is really important to you?
Tanya, I think for me, it's the hope level.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes we put so many expectations on ourselves. And like, I think it was Joyce that mentioned, we see all these commercials that Christmas is coming, everybody's smiling, and, sometimes we're not going to smile. So I think being realistic with our situations and just giving ourselves permission that it's okay not to go all out if we can't go all out this season. And just, that hope level, my hope is just health, right? Whether we put up the tree or not this year, whether we cook the big grand meals, I think being more realistic with your situations,
That's right.
it's helpful.
Right. Because in the end, you'll feel better if you do the things that make you feel more comfortable and happy. Then at the end of the whole holiday season, you'll feel good.
Elizabeth has something to share.
Elizabeth?
Yeah, so I come from a big family, and all my brothers and their partners come, and we all go to my parents' house, and my parents try to make it like really big, and we want to like moderate their hope level for what they think their expectations are. And we found that a really good way to do it and to encourage people just to kind of hang around and have fun is each one of us will bring like a board game, and it can be an easy one or a hard one. And then between what we're eating or just as a way to like hang out, we'll just play the easy board game together. And it's low impact and it's just fun to do.
Right, right. And that can be so much fun. I know we for my mom's birthday one year, what I did was I asked all the family members, and we have a huge family like you do, Elizabeth. I asked all the family members to send me pictures of their families. And then I took them to Office Depot and I had the pictures put on cardstock and I had two of each picture. So we played the game concentration. And on the front of the card, you know how the one side of the card you have face down, which has the picture of the family. And then the other, I had pictures of my mother, like 6 different pictures of my mother. That was on the top of the card, of all the cards. So we would try to make the matches. It was so much fun. And my mom had a blast. And those are memories that you make, that will last forever. So yeah, those board games with the family, they're so much fun and with your friends and, holidays. It's just fun for board games. Definitely. Different games. One of the caregivers, when I presented another similar presentation to my support group, she said they play Pictionary. And she said that's just so much fun. It's like a tradition for them because there's so much interaction. They find out who has the drawing skills and not. So much.
It encourages communication amongst everyone. And then also it's a low lift, so everybody can participate, which is nice.
Right. Definitely. Okay. I said avoid overeating. I think we finished this one. Okay, so now let's talk about self-care because this is very, very important. And we've talked about it throughout the whole presentation. Have fun. Pick self-care strategies that seem fun, not things you think that you should do. You're more likely to do things that make you happy. And when you're happy, you're more likely to do things that make you healthy. And link up. Try adding your new habit to something that you already do routinely. like a 1-minute meditation after you brush your teeth, or taking a walk around the block after you get out of your car. You know, implementing some of these new things, they just make things so nice and so different. And you never know what new traditions you'll start doing throughout the rest of the year. Make a safety net. There'll always be days when you just can't. You know how the kids say, oh, I can't with you, or I just can't do this. The important thing is not to keep doing all the things that just make self-care another stressor. That's what the last thing you need. Instead, make yourself a list of nearly automatic things that you can do to help yourself. What matters is that you keep the habit of caring for yourself in some way as a regular practice, something that goes on beyond the holidays. Have a plan. For individuals with mental health challenges and people recovering from trauma or living with chronic health conditions, a more comprehensive self-care planning approach may be helpful. Experience joy. Consciously experience small moments of joy. Research has found that small moments of positivity, the little things that make us happy throughout the day, can accumulate over time. A quick smile, a good laugh, a friendly hello, feeling touched by a kind word or gesture together form new pathways in our brains. And as a result, feelings of positivity and gratitude become easier the more we practice. I know Joyce Meyer says that when I get up in the morning, I say, what am I going to do for someone else today? And that's good practice. Practice deep breathing to calm and center your mind and body when starting to feel overwhelmed with your feelings. This holiday season, we may all experience the presence of absence, and most likely we will. So what do you do to calm and center your mind? Believe it or not, I like watching soap operas. But what do you guys do? Can you think of some, or can you share some of the things that you do with us to calm yourself down and to center yourselves? Dakota? I see you trying to reach for your mute, your mic.
I was going to put it in the chat. It's those things, the meditating, the breathing, the centering, the getting the physical sensation of what's going on with my body, just to get me in the moment and get me out of my head.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Thank you, Dakota. Anyone else? What do you do to calm yourself down? Because it's important to learn how to calm yourself. It really helps.
Elizabeth put in the chat that on Thanksgiving, I watch the dog show in the morning before we go to dinner.
Tanya?
Uh-huh.
Hey, Tanya, my name is Kevin. Hi, and there's something that I would do is, depending on mood or whatever, is music.
Mm-hmm.
And I also would put playlists together for different moods or whatever, but I also went through that with people that I lost, either music that we had in common, or through the stages of grief, as Joyce was talking about the 5 stages, or she was talking about on death and dying. And I think that some of the playlists that I put together about some of those people was going through the actual 5 phases, and I didn't know it. But that's pretty helpful for me. So depending on what the mood or the situation is, it can be pretty rowdy or really subdued. And some of it, might not be suitable for different audiences, but it's something that has helped me in the past. So just a thought.
Right. And if you think about calm and centering, I know one of the practices that I do whenever I'm ready to get my blood pressure taken, I sing songs that I sang when I was young. And they just really have a calming effect on me.
That's good.
And they help with my blood pressure reading too. So yeah, there's things that you can plan or to do that help you to calm down and center yourself. And you need to really learn what those things are and practice those things.
We have a few other comments in the chat.
Mhm.
Sonia said, I pray and walk my dogs. Hazel mentioned finding a quiet space, and Tiffany mentioned adult coloring book,
Oh,
journaling,
yes.
ebook, or music.
Yes. Good suggestions and good things, good shares. Okay. And give yourself a gift. Hey, I give myself more than one gift, but give yourself a gift. You know, that's always nice to gift yourself. You deserve it. Does anyone else give themselves gifts during the holiday seasons? No? Ah, that's a good practice.
I like to treat myself to chocolates. I love chocolates.
Good. That's
So
gifting yourself.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I love food anyway, though. If it doesn't move, I eat it. If it moves, I think about eating it, depending on what it is. But I really, around the holiday times, I really love chocolates.
Right.
And
Right.
dark chocolate is good for you.
Yeah, it is. Endorphins, right?
That's
I
what I
don't know.
tell myself, Kevin, that I'm doing a good thing, right? So it's okay.
So when she's on her third box, she just tries. Okay, but yes, it is a good idea to definitely give yourself, no matter what it is, chocolates, going somewhere is a gift to yourself, maybe going out to dinner or something, but just keep yourself in mind. You know, I always tell my caregivers that sometimes they don't really give themselves the credit that they're due. So I tell them to take your right arm, put it across your back, and give yourself a pat on the back because you deserve it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, celebrating memories with the family traditions. Start new traditions. Now we're going to talk about emotions. And the most important thing I think is to definitely acknowledge your emotions. You have a right to have your emotions, but you want to acknowledge them. Differentiate and analyze your emotions. You know, you can always take a piece of paper and a pencil and write them down. You know, your emotions and the reason you feel that you have the emotions, how they make you feel, what's good about them, what's bad about them, just analyze them. Accept and appreciate your emotions. They're yours. You know, you deserve to have your emotions. You know, don't feel bad about the fact that you have these different types of emotions. You know, embrace them. Reflect on your emotions and their origin. Why do I feel this way? What causes me to feel this way? Oh, I know why I don't like this type of food because my mom used to cook it all the time. I'll tell you a case that just made me think. When I was young, my mother made us chili beans and she burned the pot. We always thought that's the way chili beans tasted. So whenever they offered chili beans at school, we never ate them because that's the way we thought chili beans tasted. So yeah, acknowledge the origin of why those emotions are there, why we hated those chili beans. And then handle your emotions. And handle the emotions of others because others have their emotions as well. So to summarize, acknowledge your losses and your emotions. Grieve if you need to. Remember those 3 P's. Prepare, prioritize, and prevent. Be cognizant of COVID guidelines. Use your deep breathing exercise. Eat well and exercise. Take time for yourself. You deserve it. And create new traditions. And all of you, please remember ICRC is here for yourselves or your clients. ICRC offers caregiving services like educational workshops. We have classes on managing the frustrations of caring. We teach you how to manage the challenges of dementia. We teach you how to use a toolbox for managing dementia and other chronic diseases. We have our care management, our family consultants like us who really guide you through the whole journey of caregiving. We're there for you. We have our counseling programs. We've added some new wonderful mental health programs in both San Bernardino. We've had them in Riverside. We've added some in San Bernardino as well now. And I'll tell you a little bit about them on the next slides. And then we have our wonderful support groups. There's nothing like being able to talk to others that are experiencing the same things that you are experiencing. Your best friends that are not caregivers, they say, I understand or I empathize with you, but they just don't know. They're not in the trenches like you are. And then we have our wonderful conferences, which we just finished having 3 wonderful conferences, in-person and virtual conferences all for our caregivers. So to tell you a little bit about our programs, we have our mental health programs. We have our Pearls program, and it's a program to encourage active and rewarding lives for seniors. It's a free prevention and early intervention program provided to individuals 60 and over in the Riverside and San Bernardino counties. And Pearls reduces the symptoms of depression and increases participation in social, physical, and pleasant events through the methods of problem-solving treatment and behavioral activation. I tell my caregivers it helps you get back into life, that program. Then we have our Thrive CBT, later life depression. It's a cognitive behavioral therapy for later life depression for seniors 60 and over in both the Riverside and San Bernardino counties. It's a community-based program working with master's level clinicians, mental health clinicians, prevention and early intervention program funded by the Riverside University Health Services Behavioral Health and Mental Health Services Act. Free for qualifying seniors. It's a clinical approach to decrease depression and increase the quality of life. It's a CBT model, cognitive behavioral therapy model of talk therapy. Evidence-based approach to address symptoms of depression by decreasing the negative or difficult stressors that impact or interfere with your daily life, with caregivers and non-caregivers' daily life. 16 to 20 sessions in home, and right now they're meeting virtually. So visit our ICRC YouTube channel. We have a new awareness campaign video, and it's wonderful. So when you get a chance, take a look at it. ICRC, Inland Caregiver Resource Center, 800, our phone number is 800-675-6694. And then we have our website there. Our mission is helping families and the community cope with and manage the challenges of caregiving. And as you all know, there are so many challenges to caregiving. And that's what we ICRC are here for, to help you manage the challenges of caregiving. Thank you, everyone, and all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Tanya.
Tanya. Thank
You're
you.
more than welcome.
I want to share an important statistic actually from our Inland Caregiver Resource Center. We've been in service for over 40 years, but recently, and I would say within the last 2 years, the majority of our clients are individuals that are working caregivers. And what I mean by that, it's professionals like you that, have a full-time job and are also caring for someone. And so it's really important that I know we share our services and we say, encourage your clients, but these are services also available to you as individuals. If you're caring for someone, you also qualify for services to get help while you provide care. It is even more difficult if you're working a full-time job and also trying to coordinate care. A lot of times caregivers don't recognize themselves as caregivers, right? They think it's, oh, I'm not there yet, or I just help pick up prescriptions. I don't really do any hands-on care. But caregiving doesn't necessarily have to just be hands-on care. It could also be you helping coordinate appointments, picking up prescriptions, visiting your loved ones and helping them, even with the small stuff. So these services that we offer are not just available for your clients, but also for yourselves. And so we're looking into possibly having more programs and support groups after hours, because we know there's a lot of individuals that are working, 40-hour weeks and providing care when they come home. So we encourage you to access our services. And then also to recognize that you have to take care of yourself as a caregiver, right? sometimes we forget that we focus so much on caring for the individual that we don't take care of ourselves. And so I thought it was a good idea for us to bring Tanya in today to remind us of that, to take care of ourselves as we get ready for these holiday season. And then also to recognize all the work that you do as care providers for people that you care for and your clients, because maybe you're not a caregiver, but you also are, in a way, a care provider because you help connect others with services and you guide them. So, again, thank you so much for that and for all of that you do. We are going to be going dark in the month of December, so no ICA meeting for December. We're going to be sending out a new link for the new set of Coalition on Aging meetings that start in January. Our next meeting is going to be January 27th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. So we're going to be sending out new links for those new set of meetings. So please look for that. We will be sending a recap email sharing Tanya slides that you could, use for yourself or your clients, as well as a recording of today's meeting for you. And then again, encourage you to visit the ICRC YouTube channel to view the Care Across Identities new law awareness campaign that we're using. And so what we're doing is we're trying to help connect and identify with caregivers in different situations that may not see themselves as caregivers. And so we've developed videos to help with that awareness. The videos, again, are available for you to use for yourself or to share with individuals in different service populations that maybe may not know about services available for them. All right. Any questions before we log off? We still have a few minutes. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Enjoy Thanksgiving and the holiday season. And see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.